Okay, so hope all of you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining everyone for the module 2, that is user research, market research, and product type. Do let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, Priyank, we are able to see your screen and you are very audible. Yes.
Okay, great. What about others?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So let's get started without wasting further time. And also the recording has also been enabled now, so that in case if you miss any portion, definitely you can give a quick catch up afterwards through the file. So let me first quickly introduce myself before starting the session. So my name is Priyanka Ahuja. I have overall 17 plus years of work experience right now. I did my, you can say BTech from JP College, Noida. Started in 2003 and thereafter completing in electronics and communication in 2007. Then I started my journey in corporate world, and throughout my career I worked in the major brands only. I didn't get chance to work in the startup. So my initial career was in the product based companies like Nokia and ZTE as a software developer engineer. Worked there for around close to 2 years. Then I joined Vodafone as a product marketing manager, taking care of the prepaid and postpaid portfolio there. Then in 2016 onwards, I joined TCS as a pre-sale consultant and account manager, taking care of the global telecom markets right now, especially AT&T and Sprint PCS of US, Safaricom Kenya, Vodafone UK, as well as you can say Optus Australia. And after completing 1 decade of experience, then I decided to do higher studies, especially MBA. Took admission in ISB and also did my couple of courses from NUS Business School Singapore as part of International Semester Exchange Program. My specialization majorly was in the finance. And after completing my MBA, I joined again my corporate journey with Accenture as a consultant. And later on, close to 3.5 years, my role has been transitioned into the product management. And right now I am handling the AdTech platform for Asia Pacific market here. If I talk about my affiliations, what I am doing apart from this corporate, so I am also teaching product management course across various leading B schools in India like XIMB Bhubaneswar, Masters Union, IMT Ghaziabad, ILM University Greater Noida, BeamTech Greater Noida, SRCC New Delhi, and also with Upgrad. Since last close to 3 years, I am teaching around 30 plus hours of the courses here. And with Grow Junction, I am associated close to 2.5 years and conducted around 12 plus cohorts till date. On top of that, I'm also, you can say, active on social media platform, used to write content on how to ace product management role, as well as how to crack their dream role, irrespective of whether you are a fresher or a working professional. So that was my overall introduction. So let's get directly start with our today's topic. So today's agenda is user research, market research, okay, as well as you can say how to utilize the tools, especially in this two type of researchers. Okay, so let me ask one question. Please reply in the chat. How many of you have prior work experience in product management? Just write in the chat yes or no. If you have prior work experience in product management, any role, doesn't matter. Okay, so Vijay, Saurabh, Mehboob, Vishal has mentioned no. Okay. Saurabh also replied. Vijay also mentioned. What about others? Tejaswini, Mansi, Devyendu, Shrikant. Your response is awaited. Shrikant, Vishal, I have worked as a business analyst. Does this count? If it is a product-based company, definitely it will be counted. Okay. Great. So I can see there are so many, you can say, learners in this class who don't have the prior work experience, especially in product management. Okay, good. Thank you so much for your active participation. So let me tell you the case how you can transition yourself into the product management vertical. See, look from the recruiter perspective. If you want to get into product management vertical, you should exhibit three things. First, you should have relevant experience. Okay. Suppose if you don't have relevant experience, then you must have relevant exposure. Means you know what product managers are doing in, you can say, their job, day-to-day life. Means you are aware what they are doing, how they are doing, and why they are doing, obviously. So that is called as exposure. Means seeing someone else, the task they are executing on day-to-day basis. That is called as exposure. Or suppose if you don't have exposure, you must have relevant skill set. You should have relevant skill set. So any of these three is mandatory in order to get into product management. Relevant experience, relevant exposure, and relevant skill set. Now suppose if you don't have any of these three, then what will happen? Then you have to acquire at least two things out of these three. Now, how you will acquire? Relevant experience is impossible because for that you need to get the job. Then only the experience will come up. But relevant exposure and relevant skill sets you can develop. How? Because you all of you have enrolled in this Grow Junction program right now. Okay. And through this particular course, you will get complete exposure and you will develop those particular skill set by working on the capstone project. I am sure you must be aware there is a component in as part of the course curriculum. You have to work in a team, you have to build the product, and you have to come up with the presentation. From them, you will be able to acquire those skill set like product thinking, problem solving aptitude, customer understanding, data understanding. At least these four skills you can acquire while working on the capstone project. And ultimately, this makes you compatible enough to crack your dream role. Okay. And exposure you will get through this particular course. Because through this course, you will understand what product manager do on day-to-day basis, what are their do's, what are their don'ts, and most important, how they will be able to communicate effectively with different stakeholders. So exposure you will gain through course, through capstone project, you will get the skills. And if you present in the right way through your CV, then you will definitely get the call from the leading product organizations. And you will be able to enter your starting role in the product management vertical. Now, why these two things are required? Because right now you don't have these two. And at least you have to demonstrate, you can say two things or two elements so that your CV will be qualified to land onto the interview table. CV will not help you into the job, but definitely it will help you as a tool that will provide you interview opportunity, means face-to-face interaction with the recruiter. Now, suppose if you really want to get interview shortlist, what you have to do? You have to highlight the project, whatever you are doing as part of the hands-on activity, and get it validated with the existing product leaders, the solution, and get their testimonials on your professional platform like LinkedIn, so that whenever you apply anywhere into the companies, then you will start getting the call from the recruiter, or recruiter will directly reach out to you from their own side. Because the moment you work on the project and highlight in your profile that actually you develop any product or any service as part of the assigned project, that makes you qualified enough to get the interview round. In fact, I can say there are so many companies like Microsoft, Google, who actually value your capstone project experience if you highlight in the right way. If you highlight what you did, starting from the research phase, especially user research or market research, how you craft the solution, how you build the solution, how you test the solution, and most important, how you improve the product. These all elements, if you present in the right way, then ultimately you will exhibit the real product management skills. Because the moment you worked on any of the product on your own side, ultimately you gain that experience, you gain that particular skill set. And this will help you to crack your interview in the easiest way. So if you don't have anything, that will be red flag. But if you demonstrate in the right way, you will definitely get the call. You will have a detailed session on the resume, especially after 6 weeks, where I will tell you how to highlight these kind of things in detail so that it will easily pass the ATS compliant tool. ATS stands for application tracking system. If you highlight the keywords in the right way and demonstrate in a positive tone, you will definitely get the interview call. That is not a big deal. But throughout this course, you will get each and everything. So in this course, basically what you will do, you will learn the product management exposure. It means you can say what product management is all about. Later on, through capstone project, you will get the skill set, experience, and exposure. And finally, through CV, you will be able to position your skill set in the right way. Okay. Any questions so far? Feel free to ask. Mehboob, Vishal, Srikanth, any questions?
Not yet, Priyank. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I have one query. So,
Yeah.
if someone is from have worked in a different domains and have a decade of experience, so will this be considered as a fresher, or like how it's gonna be getting into role? Do we have to start with associate product manager, or like we directly jump to product manager role?
See, if you have already worked in different domain, which is not no way connected with the product management vertical, then they will treat you as a fresher. And you will directly start their journey as the APM role. That is called as associate product manager role. That is an entry level position. Okay. So basically the
Oh.
point is, think from the recruiter perspective, they will hire you and they will add your experience if you already worked in the product management. If you don't have, then no need to worry. You will be directly starting as the entry level. That is the associate product manager role. And the salary would be similar, whatever you are earning right now. Once you gain the experience in their organization, then later on you can make your career transformation from as APM to PM, that is product manager, then PM to SPM, that is senior product manager, and then later on director of product management and chief product officer. That's how your corporate ladder will go there. But as you have academic experience, I would strongly recommend you should try ad tech companies only, just like Class Plus, Upgrad. Huh?
Okay. Yeah, I have worked with Byju's, so
Yeah.
that is
The
an
ad tech
advantage.
firms, your experience would be valuable because they do value what previous industries you worked on. Don't try healthcare domain.
Oh,
Don't try pharmaceutical. Don't try consumer electronics. That will not help you.
okay. Fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Vishal, Vinay, Mansi, any questions?
Not at the moment, Priyank.
No, not right now. Thank you.
Okay. Let me tell you the brilliant example of a product management. With the help of, you can say, Grow Junction as an example. So just after the COVID, Grow Junction has come up with the particular course, but how the course was evolved in the market. Usually, you can say product management as a course is not, you can say, included in their curriculum, whether you are doing bachelor's like commerce or engineering, or you are doing master's like MCA or MTech or even MBA. No institute in India was providing product management as a course. But recruiters, when they start hiring the people, they ask so many questions, but nobody is actually teaching the same. Nobody is providing the insights. So there was a gap between the academic as well as the corporate sector. Now, in order to fulfill this particular gap, then Grow Junction took an initiative to create a program which is actually called as a learning product, I can say, that actually fulfill this gap. Like what skill set is required, what exposure is required, and what kind of question generally they ask. Let's create the course on the same and run in the virtual format so that student or working professional from any part of the India, they can easily enroll and start getting the benefit out of it, irrespective of your location. Yeah, there must be some common timing, especially weekend, maybe in the, you can Saturday, Sunday in the morning hours or in the evening hour, depending upon the mutual, you can say, availability of majority of the learners decision. But yeah, obviously it will be convenience as per their own, you can say, virtual format. Now, in that initial stage, they did, you can say, a lot of research by asking the, you can say, recruiter, what needs to be added, what needs to be asked. so that they can design the curriculum, consider those topics, consider those concepts. And that's how, after calculating the research on the ground level, then they have come up with the problem statement. Problem statement means how to develop those particular skills, how to gain that particular execution, so that you will not face any problem during the interview. And then, as part of the ideas, they started creating the courses. They hired the instructor, they hired the coaches, and most important, they designed the entire curriculum in the sequential manner, so that once you go through all the courses, especially functional and technical, then ultimately you will know what product manager actually do, and this will help you to crack the interview. And finally, how this particular course was developed in the form of, you can say, Zoom session. And there was one person from the admin side who actually hosts the session. And finally, the learning interface was also created, so that all the sessions which were recorded, you can easily watch those particular clips up to 1 year of duration at any point of time. So that's how, step by step, they have come up with this particular product, which is a learning, you can say, outcome for the students as well as working professional who have a one dream in their mind, how to get into product management. Similarly, you can look here and there in your surroundings. Think about the common problem. Think about why this problem is coming up. Think about how you can address those problems. Think about what features you can develop to solve that particular problem. And later on, once you develop, you will get the unique product out of this particular result. Just like, let me give so many examples. You have Calendly app. Why Calendly app has come up in the market? Because people are not able to manage their time. They are not able to share the open slots with each other so that they can book their calendar and have a meeting or conversation later on. So that helps you to organize in a better way. How Swiggy, Zomato come up? Because few of the customers, initially, they don't want to visit the restaurant. Rather, they want to have a same dining experience at their home, so that someone on their behalf go to the restaurant, place their order, pick up the parcel, and come back home and have a dining experience with their friends and family member. That's how Swiggy and Zomato have solved this problem. So there was a problem, especially you can say how to get the meal at their doorstep. Same thing applicable with Uber and Ola. Why they come up? Because there was a genuine problem into the market, especially the commercial taxi driver. You have to go to the depot, you have to bargain in terms of the cost, you have to tell the location, and continuously you can say make the payment in cash. But later on, once they identified the problem, they have come up with a brilliant solution. Let's design an app-based solution so that customer can book the cab, driver knows where you want to go, payment is 100% cashless, and most important, no need to tell any kind of direction. And they will come and for the pickup, and they will drop you at that particular point. No need to tell anything. Everything is controlled by the app. So that's how you can also come up with your own innovative idea, identify the problem, and come up with the solution. This is how you can also become a successful product manager on your own. Because product manager, what actually they are doing? They are actually solving the problem for the customer. So think like a customer and build the product like a product manager. If you have that particular skills, you will become the best one. I think I got one question in the chat from Mehboob. Do we have a set of interview question that we can go through, especially most asked one? Yeah, Mehboob, definitely we will cover up that as well. But you have to wait for at least 5 weeks. You will have a dedicated session. Once the core topics are completed, then we will start about discussion on the resume building as well as interview questions and like case solving and the guest debate. We have everything, don't worry. Okay. Now coming to the next part, that is user research. Let me ask one basic question from all of you. What is the difference between customer and user? Are they same or different? Customer and user.
No, I think they are different.
Okay.
So user, I would say, is a end person who is going to use that service or product at the end, but a customer would be who is like purchasing that product or service from us.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Yes, I guess users can be a broader perspective. Like there can be a lot of potential users, but customer is the end result. Like it's actually the end point who is actually using the product. purchasing it or taking the subscription or actually using the product to, take.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Let me hear from one more participant. Mansi, do you want to
Yeah,
add anything?
yeah. So a customer is a person who buys a product or a service, while the user is someone who actually uses the product. For example, a parent buys an ice cream for a child. So customer is the parent and the user is the child.
Okay, good, wonderful example. So those who are not aware, let me give another example. Suppose let's take one hypothetical situation, Mansi. Uh, let's assume that every morning you actually go outside of your home, go to the milk parlor and purchase a milk packet. Okay, because it is a daily commodity product and everyone used to consume in the home. Now, when you go to the milk parlor, what you see there, you will see there are multiple brands applicable for selling the milk. Like you have the Amul, you have the Mother Dairy, you have the, you can say,
Country
Verka, you
Delight.
have the Mother, huh?
Country Delight is one of them. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, depending upon which state you are, there is a regional dairy also there and there is a national dairy also there. Like Amul Vita, these are the national one. You can get anywhere. But if you go in specific state, then you have the regional dairy also. Okay. So multiple brands are available. Not only just brand, you will see different quantity of milk also, like 1 kg, half kg. Some are mentioning in ml, some are mentioning in kg. So depending upon the quantity, you have 2 kg packet, 1 kg packet, half kg packet also there. Not only the quantity, you will have different varieties of milk are also there, like cow milk, buffalo milk, or goat milk. So few of them are also selling the goat milk as well. Apart from that, they have different varieties of milk, categories of milk also there, like tone, double tone, diamond, or even full cream. I hope you have noticed all of this when you purchase a milk packet. Am I right or wrong? Tell me. Categories, varieties, quantity, and brand, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Mansi, when you go to the milk parlor and you say that I need a 1 packet, so does the shopkeeper directly hand over any random packet to you, or you specify each and everything?
We specify the things we want. That, for
You,
example, I want cow milk of this brand,
uh,
for example.
yeah. So you tell each and everything. Like
Correct.
I need buffalo milk. I need 1 kg packet only from Amul, especially full cream or diamond, right?
Correct.
Now, if you're a regular customer, then definitely you don't have to tell anything. You just go communicate the quantity. They remember your preference and they will provide you the packet, right?
Correct.
But if you visit first time, they will ask all the 4 things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then only you will receive the packet. And later on, they will quote you the price. And once they quote the price, you make the payment and receive the packet and come back home, right?
Yeah, right.
So Mansi, in this case, you become the customer because you specify each and every requirement in detail and communicate to the, you can say, seller, and then they will hand it over the packet to you. So person who specify the requirement and make the payment, or you can say purchase the product, that stakeholder become a customer, right?
Okay, but for example, the consumption is done by
Consumption,
both the
I'm coming to that. Now, once you receive the packet and come back home, when you open the packet, consume the milk, then being a customer, you also become a user. But suppose if you don't consume the packet and you hand over the packet to your family members, then they become user and you still become customer. But if you also consume certain portion of the milk, just like suppose you purchase 2 kg package, obviously you do not consume the 2 kg, you can say amount in a day. So let's take example, you take some 500 gram and all, then you become a shared user also, right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
being a customer, you also become one of the user also. So it depends upon what role you are playing as a stakeholder. Sometimes you are still remaining as a customer, and sometimes you perform the role of both customer and user, and sometimes only user.
Okay, got it. So the person who specifies the needs and everything details, that is customer or user? I just got confused.
Customer.
Customer. Okay.
User is basically consumer.
Okay.
Let me give another example, Mansi. Suppose you have a requirement of a broadband connection in your home, right? And you want postpaid connection, so that you will first consume. Once the bill come up, then you make the payment, right? Now, when you are about to install broadband connection, you have to tell each and every requirement. Like I need 100 Mbps dedicated, you can say broadband connection. I need unlimited download and upload. And I need, you can say, monthly rental up to max 1,000 rupees, not more than that.
Okay.
Once you give the complete requirement, then you make the you do the documentation, and when the bill come up, you are making the payment. So you are a customer because you have specified the complete plan detail. And once you get the you can say service, then you, with the help of user or password, you are consuming that broadband service. Or if you share the user ID password with your friends and family members, then they also start using the internet at your home. Then they also become the user.
Okay.
So user means the consumer who actually consume the product and services, whereas customers are the buyers who specify each and every requirement in detail. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Okay. So if you don't have any doubt, let me clarify one thing. In marketing, we called user as a consumer. So don't get confused that in some books we will see the word consumer and sometimes we use the word user. These two words are interchangeably used in the market. For product management, we use the term user. But for marketing, they are using the term as consumer. But actually both are same because users are actually consumer who actually consume the goods and services. So don't get confused on this. Now here, we actually conduct the two type of research. First is user research and second is market research. Now, what is user research? User research will actually based on understanding the right, you can say user who actually consume your good and services. And users are of multiple types. Let me give a very simple example. If you see on the screen, there are two type of users are there. Obviously, one is female and one is male. And you can see their goals, their attitude, their motivation, mental model, relationship, behavior, each and everything is completely different. They are not at all same. Not only in terms of looks, but also in terms of attitude and behavior, both are same. Oh, sorry, both are different. If you pick up the twins also, who looks exactly identical, they are also having different attitude and different behavior. So in a nutshell, I can say that you have to conduct research on each and every user. Each and every user, because no two users are exactly same. Let me give example. Suppose one user actually wants to drive a bicycle, but they have a demand, they have an expectation that at the backside, I need a truck tire. One user is fond of riding this kind of bicycle. But if you handed over this product to the same customer, the customer will be happy. They are delighted to ride as many times as possible. But what will happen? The remaining 99.99% customer, will they appreciate this bicycle? No. They will not try this because it's a bulky. So much energy is required to drive this kind of bicycle because there is no motor. You have to drive with the help of your own legs. It's very difficult. Similarly, one of the customer demands that I need to ride a motorcycle with 2 truck tires. Definitely, if you hand over this kind of product, and the customer will be happy. But what about the remaining customer? They start scolding you. What kind of product you have built up? How can I jump and sit on this motorcycle? And how come the government will approve the license here? Because this is not considered as a two-wheeler. It's a heavy duty, you can say two-wheeler. It is not light motor vehicle. It's a very heavy motor vehicle, but in the two-wheeler category. But there is no such category applicable in the RTO office. And also, there is so much parking space would be required to park this vehicle. Suppose if one of the customers say that I need fuel tank in the bicycle. If you provide one, customer will be happy. But what about other customer? They start scolding you. What is the need of a fuel tank? What is the need of a meter here? It's not at all required. Same thing is applicable for jet bike also. So point is that if any customer demands something, you need to fulfill their needs and expectations. But if you fulfill it, the customer will be happy. But what about other customer? They will start, you can say, feeling disappointed, and they will not appreciate such kind of product. So what you will do? Will you create separate product for separate customer? Suppose if you do this in Indian context, in India, there is a population of approximately 145 crore right now. So will you create 145 crore different products for all the customers in India? Is it feasible? Is it scalable? It is sustainable in the market? No. Obviously, no. Because if you create multiple products, what will happen? The cost will be increased and the rejection rate would be very high. And it takes so much years to build a product. When you actually develop the product, then what will happen? By that time, your product become outdated or it is not having any relevant demand. So what product-based company actually do to solve these kind of issues? They will create you can say, product based upon the user preferences. Just like you can say, all the college going students, they are fond of riding motorcycle. All the, you can say, working professional, majority of the middle class people prefer to go with, you can say, car, because they have the family and they need some kind of roof on their, you can say, head, and where their family is safe. Similarly, for old age, they prefer to, you can say, drive lightweight two-wheeler. So you have a three different kind of, you can say, users who have a similar expectation for daily commuting, you can say, purpose. So what they will do, they create lesser amount of products with that will fulfill the maximum needs of the customer. Let me give a very simple example. Whenever any, you can say, automobile company launches any product, will they create, you can say, a single product or multiple product? Have you noticed, will they come up is only one product or multiple product whenever the new model is coming up? Any idea?
Product with different variants, I would say.
Absolutely correct. They have different variant. In fact, they will come up 17 to 18 different variants, just like base model, mid variant, top end model. They also have different type of transmission system, like gearbox, which you can say manual, automatic, semi-automatic, like that. They also come up with different kind of colors. Some people want black, some people want white, some people want cherry color or red color, like that. And also they have different variant in terms of fuel, like petrol, diesel, or even CNG, or even EV, that is electric vehicle. So you have different permutation combinations are there. So if you see, they can say multiple combinations comes up. Now, why they are creating multiple composition of the product? So that they can fulfill the needs of maximum customer, like who want petrol, but who want manual, but at the lower cost, they can, you can say, use the one model. Those who want premium model, especially in the petrol, but with the, you can say, automatic feature, they will get the higher top end model. So for catering the maximum need of the customer, they will come up with few variants that will satisfy the need of a customer. But they are not customizing to single customer. This will not only just control the cost, but also avoid a large scale wastage in the market. Let me give another example. I know all of you are aware that in the month of September, every year, Apple company launches their iPhone. Even they also launch AirPod as well as iWatch 2. Now, when the Apple has launched iPhone 16, do you know how many variants they have launched? Do you know the count? How many actual variants they have launched? Any idea?
Three variants, I guess.
Not three. It is actually 64.
Oh my God.
64. How? Let me tell you, 4 different type of models were there. iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Plus, iPhone 16 Pro, or iPhone 16 Pro Max. These are 4 different model. For each model, they have 4 different variants also there. Like you can say 256 GB, 512 GB, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabyte. Okay. Not only this, they have come up with different colors also. 4 different colors they have launched. So 4 into 4 into 4, 64 different combinations were there. So although it is just one number, that is iPhone 16, but if you see at the ground, these 64 variants are available in the market. Now, why 64? Some people want to focus just on the cost. Some people want to focus on camera. Some people want to focus on storage capacity, so that they don't want to carry, you can say, the external memory here and there. And some people also focus on higher battery backup. So each and every demand will be catered during the launch. So this 64 models actually cater the need of entire world who are actually crazy for the iPhone. So what you understand from this here, from this particular topic, when you conduct the research on the ground level, especially for user, understand how many customers are there, what is their category, and identify their similarity in a particular cluster of the customers. Let me give an example. Just like whenever you go to the supermarket, on a particular day, 5,000 customers visiting the supermarket. Okay, 5,000 customers, but all the 5,000 customers are not different actually. They have a similarity, just like all the childrens are fond of purchasing the chocolates as well as the toys. All the working class professionals are actually purchasing the packed food. जैसे वो होता है ना मैगी बना बनाया उपमा पोहा वगैरह. All house makers or homemakers are fond of purchasing the groceries because they have to cook the meal once they come back home. And similarly, all the senior citizens will have a different demand. So identify the clusters of those particular customers, identify their common needs, and then design the product and offer to the customer. That will not only avoid wastage, but also help you to cater to their maximum set of the customer. See, as a product manager, you cannot target 100% satisfaction of each and every user. But your target should be at least to cover 95% of their expectation. And if you are able to fulfill their 95% of the expectation, your job is done. Because you can't make every customer happy. It is impossible. But if you fulfill their 95% of the need and design the product for the mass customer, that is the best way to position the product in timely launches and retaining the maximum customers. That's how user research plays a major role. Any doubt here, please feel free to ask, please. Any questions? Navya, Rahul, Shrikant, any questions? Tejasvi?
So far, so good, Priyank.
Others?
All good right now.
Okay, good, wonderful, thank you. So now, coming to the, you can say, research. When you conduct the research, there are two types of research applicable for user. One is proactive and second one is reactive. What is proactive? What is reactive? Let me give a very simple example. Suppose you are right now sitting at 10th floor of your apartment. And suddenly you came to know that fire happened on the 12th floor. मतलब एक बड़ी बिल्डिंग है 10वें फ्लोर पे आप हो and 12th floor somehow fire happened and you get the announcement that you have to immediately vacate the building. Now please note, fire actually happened and you are actually vacating the building. This is basically called as reactive approach because some problem has happened and now you are responding according to the situation. That is reactive. But suppose if in future you want that fire don't happen, then what will happen? You have to apply proactive approach so that if any problem comes up or any mishappening or any casualty happen, the impact can be minimized. Just like you can install water sprinkler, smoke detector, fire alarm, hydraulic, you can say pressure devices, or even you also install fire extinguisher here and there. And make sure all the material which is installed is not non-combustible material so that fire will not catch in your building. And if anything happen, you know where to exit with the help of fire exit path. So that is basically called as proactive approach. So that same thing will never happen again. And if it is happening, then impact can be minimized. So proactive means you take action on your own for the betterment of the future, whereas reactive is basically based upon some issues going on and now you are responding accordingly. So similar techniques we are applying in the user research also. You apply proactive only once there is some problem is there and now you want to solve it. Whereas reactive is applied when some problem is actually happened, and now you have to actually solve it as part of improving it, so that customer experience can be improved, or you can say they are able to perform the task as quickly as possible. Let me give examples so that you can understand. You can say in 1990s, flight tickets were booked by the travel agents. There is a huge demand for the travel agents that time, and you have to go physically to the travel partners so that they can book the ticket on your behalf. But nowadays, very few people, hardly 1 or 2%, or even lesser than those people who actually physically travel to the travel partners and give their requirements and then book the flight ticket. Because nowadays you have multiple social media apps are there, or even different travel agents are there who book through the online method, and then you will get the travel ticket automatically. You will have a complete clarity what seat you want to book, what kind of meal you want to book, what kind of flight you have to book up, what is the airline, each and everything you can select on your own at your own fingertips. Now what has changed? Before 1990s, you also travel, and nowadays in 2025 you are also travel. What has improved? Your convenience, your affordability, your reliability, that has been continuously improved, and you have more convenience. That's why you are dependent upon the digital mobile apps. So this is basically, you can say, reactive approach, because you are continuously improving the, you can say, the task whatever you are executing. Same thing applicable for shopping also. Earlier you have to go to the local you can say shops, but slowly the supermarkets or you can shopping malls have evolved, and nowadays you can see everything is now online, because you are so much busy in your work, especially on the weekdays, and you want to get the shopping done at your own fingertips through online. You can not only get the user reviews or even seller reviews also. So earlier the shopping also happened, nowadays shopping also happened, but it has changed. The experience has been improved. That is basically your reactive. Proactive will come up when you are designing a product first time in the market and no previous solution ever exists in the market. Just like the Grow Junction example, I am telling you, before 2020, there was no such online course available in the market. Nowadays, so many, you can say, vendors are also selling these kind of courses. But I can say like this, previously, product management role was not at all popular in the market. Before 2020, even very few companies were actually providing this role. But slowly, when digital, you can say, mobile apps picked up the market, and multiple companies have started creating their own vertical, and that's how the demand has been increased. So this proactive approach actually comes up in the user research when you are creating the product from the first time in the market. That's how proactive will come up. This is basically based upon new problem, whereas reactive is focusing on certain improvement which is required, either in terms of solving existing problem, or either you are improving the convenience or experience of the customer. That's how proactive user research and reactive user research are different from each other. We are using multiple tools, just like in case of reactive, we use surveys, focus group, as well as interviews. And the same tool we also might be using, especially in proactive as well. Let me tell you the tools, especially survey, focus group, and interview. Interview is basically a 1:1 conversation. 1:1 conversation. I hope you remember, the moment you enter into any super shopping mall or supermarket, I am sure you must have seen at the entry gate, there are three type of people are actually started chasing you. One is maybe from American Express, one is maybe from Standard Chartered, and third maybe from Bajaj Insurance, Bajaj Finance Insurance. And they always, you can say, start selling the product, but they actually want to interact, especially for initial 2 minutes. वो हमेशा आपको कहते हैं कि do you have 2 minutes so that we can give you more detail about it. Now, when they are about to ask this question, did you analyze why they are standing at the main gate? Why they are not standing at the exit gate? Any idea? Why they
So
are standing yeah.
while exiting, like the person who is visiting the mall, he will be exhausted, right? So he won't be having time. He would be in hurry to reach home. There can be n number
Absolutely.
of reasons, but when he is entering, he has plenty of time, out of which he can easily spare 2 minutes.
Absolutely correct. But when you suppose if you you can say ask any person who is entering the shopping mall, do you feel all the people will respond and give the 2 minutes time?
Nope.
No, absolutely no. Okay. In fact, why they start the conversation with 2 minutes time? Because any conversation will not close in 2 minutes. Definitely, it will take minimum 15 to 20 minutes. If you're really interested to purchase anything, minimum 15 to 20 minute transaction time is required. But why they want to borrow only 2 minutes? And despite they know, hardly 10% people will respond. 90% people even not agree to pay 2 minutes. But why they directly start the conversation with 2 minutes? Why don't they directly communicate that I need 15 minutes? What will happen if they say that?
There will
At
be
least
no
in these 2 minutes, they can get their phone number, name, and other information, and they can approach them later also.
Absolutely. They, in those particular 2 minutes, they want to pitch themselves. And if they are able to get convinced in those 2 minutes, then they can have a detailed conversation afterward. Because the moment you are interacting with them, they are strangers and you are not comfortable to talk with the stranger. Just like someone strike at your doorbell, आपके कोई घर पे आ जाए. Will you directly communicate with them? No. You may not open the door because of the security reason, because you don't know that person. And when you are alone, you become highly suspicious. And you actually want to, you can say, protect your home and yourself as well. Okay. So basically, you are meeting with the strangers, and strangers' conversation are actually not comfortable. That's why they want to borrow 2 minutes time. And if you are able to pitch that in the right way, with the right tone, with the right message, with the right appearance, ultimately the customer become comfortable and they have a conversation with them. They used to ask certain questions also, just like, where are you working, where you are residing, how much income you are earning right now, what is your, you can say, you can say take home salary, so that they can provide the right product and pitch the services accordingly. That is actually happening in an interview. So user interview means you interacting one-on-one, provided the user gave them time and opportunity to speak face to face. जो आपका face to face conversation होता है वो आपका interview कहलाता है. But what will happen if customer is not available face to face? Then you use survey as a tool. Survey is basically triggered with the help of social media app or even Google form via WhatsApp group or even Telegram group, or you directly email them and understand their needs and expectations. That is basically called a survey. So when customer is not available face to face and not at all comfortable to speak in front of you, then you can trigger the requirement with the help of the survey. And survey is applicable for mass customers or mass users. मतलब 2-3 लाख लोगों में अगर आपको सर्वे करना है तो वो आप ये टूल यूज करोगे, उनकी राय लेनी है. दैट इज बेसिकली कॉल्ड एज अ सर्वे. But what about focus group? Focus group is applicable for group of people. And you take their common opinion. Just like on 5th of February, the Delhi election is happening. The Delhi Vidhan Sabha election is happening between, there are three major parties are there, BJP, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. Now, when you start interacting in a group of people, especially in any shopping mall or even supermarket or in any, you can say MCD park, especially if you are fond of morning or evening walk, then there are so many people who are forming a group and you directly having a conversation with the group itself. Now, once you ask their opinion, whom do you think that which party will win the election? So majority of the people, they gave a common answer. That is basically called as focus group, because this focus group will give you the mass opinion as a group, what they are thinking on and how they are giving response. That also matters a lot. So sometimes the group opinion is required, then always use focus group. When you go for individual qualitative data, you always conduct interview. But when you get mass response from the customer who are sitting at remote location and not accessible to you, you always prefer survey. So these three tools you are using in order to capture the proactive as well as reactive response. Any questions so far? Feel free to ask, please. Yeah, any questions? So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So there are certain tools we are using, especially conducting the proactive or reactive, you can say, research. One is SWOT analysis, then we have PESTLE analysis, and we also have Porter 5 forces also. And we used to actually refer the data as well. There are so many firms, especially consulting firms, I can say, who actually conduct the research, and it will help you to save your data also. So either you conduct the research on your own, or either you pay for that, the other company will do the research on your own, and you just get the data. If you do the research on your own, then it is called as primary research, क्योंकि आपने research खुद करी, खुद time लगाया, खुद गए हो customer के पास, and you get the data. That is called as primary research. Secondary research means when you have referred the data of previous research or someone who conducted research on your behalf. That is secondary research. जैसे suppose Deloitte has published one research report, especially which was conducted in the month of Diwali 2024, and then you are analyzing the data and taking a decision, especially for the next Diwali, which is coming in November 2025. So this is basically called a secondary research, and it will actually save your time and efforts. So they have a specialist team, they actually conduct the research, and you refer as it is and take the data. That is secondary research. Now, let me tell you one by one these three tools: SWOT, PESTLE, and Porter 5 forces. SWOT stands for 4 elements: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. Strength means something which you are actually having strong presence. Weakness means something you are able to cater or unable to provide. Threat means you are having competition fear. And opportunities means something you can take opportunity to grow. Let me give an example. What is the biggest strength of Coca-Cola and Pepsi? First is their taste, second is their durability, and third is the mass consumption and easy replenishment. Whenever the huge demand, they can easily cater to the need. And the taste is also good. And the price is also compatible to the user requirement. And they have come up with a brilliant design of their bottles. That's why it is the biggest strength. In fact, they are also coming in the can as well. But what is the weakness? Weakness is basically for the customer is it create health issues. If you consume too much the carbonated soft drink, it will create high blood, you can say sugar, and it also create other harmful effects on your body. You become obese after a certain point of time. That is the weakness, especially if you consume in the larger quantity. What is the threat? Threat is basically applicable from different type of competitors. Now, what are the substitutes of those particular, you can say, Pepsi and Coke? Suppose if Vishal is the customer, Vishal don't want to consume carbonated soft drink. Usko carbonated drinks peeni hi nahi hai. So what are the other alternatives Vishal have? Vishal can consume tea and coffee. He can consume milk. He can consume flavored milk or white milk. He can also consume, you can say, nimbu pani, rasna, or even juice as well. So multiple options are there, but indirectly it will create impact onto the company and the brand. This is basically the indirect competitors that create influence in the market because you have other options available in the market. Coming to opportunities. Suppose if you want to grow in different market, how you can take the benefit? That is your opportunities. Suppose if you want to sell into the new market, especially the campuses or the colleges, then you can place those, you can say, options into the canteen and students start consuming on the same. Just like they have made so many tie-ups, especially with the pizza, especially with the burger shops, so that whenever you consume the fast food, then you can start consuming those particular bottles. Let me give another example. Do you know which company made highest profit, especially in the COVID time? किस कंपनी ने सबसे ज्यादा मुनाफा कमाया है, पैसा कमाया है कोविड के दौरान?
Pharma, Dolo.
Dolo means a pharmaceutical industry has Dolo 650 tablet they have and Topic. Okay. Any other? Vaccine ने भी कमाया है, Pfizer or even
education.
Sorry, which one?
Educational.
Education में कौन सी? Byju's.
Education as a product in general.
Product. Okay.
Online
right?
education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other company earned so many profit?
Online streaming platforms like Netflix.
Netflix
Prime.
also. Yeah, absolutely. YouTube, Netflix, they started selling the, you can say, premium subscriptions also. Okay. Anyone, any other thing, company you think of? There are so many companies who earned a lot of profit. The first company was Zoom, which everyone forget. And right now you're using their tool also for attending this class. All of a sudden, entire physical world shrink into online mode, especially for the corporate, how they conduct the work from home. They started selling their premium subscription because the free plan will actually exhaust automatically after 40 minutes, and you cannot hold more than 100 participants together, and you don't have any basic feature especially. So entire L&D industry, entire school, colleges and corporate started relying on the Zoom because they are giving maximum user experience through their product. Second company was your pharmaceutical companies, just like Dolo and all, and vaccines they are providing. And the third company, which you are not able to recall right now, is your broadband service provider, just like Jio and Airtel. Because all of a sudden, all the people who are living in tier 1 cities, they migrated to their tier 2 or tier 3 cities. Did you see in your tier 3 cities, you will assume a Wi-Fi connection, especially with high speed? No, it was not at all exist. But they quickly upscale their fiber infrastructure. Now in every city, you will easily get high speed internet. आपने देखा होगा आसपास बिजली के खंभों पे तारे लटक रही हैं, पहले इतनी तारे नहीं होती थी. Now you see home, so many wires are there. High speed infrastructure was initially set up, and that's why people are resisting to go back to the Bangalore, Gurgaon, Mumbai. They want to work from home as it is because it is saving a huge amount of cost. So opportunity means if any market uncertainty comes up, how you explore possibility to grow in the market, because nobody predicted COVID earlier, but all of a sudden COVID comes up, and now you quickly take up the opportunity, upscale yourself, and started creating the product and fulfill their needs. That is basically called as opportunity. मतलब market में कोई भी खराब हालत आ जाए, how you identify the new options and build the product so that in the need of the hour you met their expectation. That is called as opportunity. Sometimes companies become successful in unforeseen circumstances, just like Zoom is one of them, Byju's is one of them, and even broadband service providers like Airtel and Jio is one of them. So that is overall SWOT analysis. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, but I do have two questions regarding this SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
So first question is it a standard like all the companies are following?
Yeah, it's a
And
standard.
and the other question is, do we have any certain specific template which we can refer, or how it is?
Yeah, there is a template. I will share it with you after this session. So
Thank you.
template means basically you actually identify what are the, you can say, things where your brand or a company or a startup is powerful. Especially just like they have their biggest investors, they have their biggest, you can say, product line, they have their biggest demography, or they have the largest user, that become your strength. So they have, you can say, internal, external stakeholders you have to cover in each and every component, and then you can run those particular survey and analyze your SWOT analysis. Okay, so that is the first most important tool which you are using and put into consideration for conducting the research. Second tool, basically we are using for Pestle. Pestle is not used by every organization. Pestle is used only once you are in the B2C segment and you are analyzing the macroeconomic issues. Just like, let me tell you the full form of that: political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental. These 6 components are applicable for Pestle. So sometimes what happens, whenever you are about to launch any product, or you are already running the product, but due to political reasons, you have to shut down or you have to make the decision later on. That is basically called as political factor. Just like, let's take example, Vijay, you are in Bengal, West Bengal, and you know very well, usually so many, you can say riots actually start happening all of a sudden. आप कभी कभार झगड़ा हो जाता है, and झगड़ा इस कदर बढ़ जाता है, then government decided to actually turn off the internet in those particular areas. Not only West Bengal, you can take the example of a Delhi, Haryana,
Kashmir is also one of the, like, I would say, the
yeah,
use case where it generally happens.
yeah. So just like a farmer protest actually happening in Delhi, Haryana, Punjab and UP, then government actually put up those particular internet off and you are not able to avail any services, app-based services like Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato. Now all the application, in fact, UPI payment, you are not able to perform it. So due to political reason, it will create impact on your product and service. Economic factor, it also depend upon the user preferences, like how much users are willing to pay. Just like lower class customer can't afford premium service, HNI customer can afford premium services. So what is their willingness to pay? What is their maximum range? Just like in case of smartphone, some people don't want to pay more than 30,000. Some people are easily afford up to 1.5 lakh. So they can create premium model, they can create low end model also. Coming to social factor also plays an impact onto the product delivery. Just like some people wants to associate only with the big brand on the premium services. Just like they want to travel via Mercedes, Audi and BMW only. They want to wear glasses from the Ray-Ban. They want to, you can say, carry only Apple products. They want to wear the premium slippers. They want to wear the Rolex watch only. So that's how the social status you have to maintain and provide those premium services to the customers. Then technological. Your product is dependent upon a particular technology, and technology is having certain limitations as well. Some features, let's take example, are possible with Android, but not possible with iOS platform. So due to this particular limitation, you are not able to cater to the specific need of the customer. So and understand which technology you're using and identify their strength and weakness accordingly. Then legal are somewhat you can say indirectly creating impact on your product and service because of the complications involved. Whenever you are selling a big product to the customer, then you make a tie up with those customer and legal foundations. Like take example, suppose you are providing a voice and data services in a particular city. Let's take example of a cell phone tower. A tower can provide the coverage max to max 6 kilometer radius, especially for 4G. Now, when you are setting up the particular tower, then you have to make an agreement with the landowner, especially 20 years you make an agreement, and up to 20 years you are going to pay to the landowner, especially 30 to 40,000 per month. Now, what will happen? Suppose you get, you can say requirement, you can say new proposal from different competitor. Let's take example, earlier you installed Airtel, now Jio person has come up. Now they want to offer you 50,000 rupees per month. Earlier you were getting 20,000 per month, but now they are offering 50,000. Will you remove their tower? No. Because of the legal challenges, you are not able to easily replace that. Otherwise, you will face severe consequences. So that also indirectly create impact. And last one is environmental. When you are building any product, make sure it should not create any impact onto the environment, just like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, or even radioactive solution, or you can say interference. That environmental impact should not be there. Your product, the leftover residual material should be recyclable. If you have the concerns on the environment, then you will not get approval from the government bodies to launch those services in the market. So pestle analysis is applicable for those scenarios when macroeconomic issues come into the picture. Then this framework needs to be considered in SWOT analysis. Clear?
Yep.
Another tool which we are using in Porter 5 Forces. This is basically used in, you can say, FMCG or consumer electronics. Majorly, we are using there itself. Porter 5 Forces talk about 5 forces that create impact onto the decision-making ability. Just like, let me give example. You can say the telecom. In the telecom, you cannot, you can say, easily enter in that market. You see hardly 3 to 4 competitors are there, like Airtel, Jio, Vodafone Idea, even BSNL. Few players are there right now. Why? Because it's not easy to enter in this market because of the huge spectrum cost, and you don't get the license easily from the government. And there is a huge amount of investment also required in terms of infrastructure. Nobody can afford it. So you can say it's very difficult to enter into the market. That is called a threat of new entrant. It's not easy to enter. There are so many barriers involved. Legal complications are there. If it is difficult to enter, definitely you can apply Porter 5 Forces. Understand the competitive dynamics. Who are your competitor? What is their market share? And most important, what is their strength and weakness of each and every competitor? If they are having a strong point in one particular front, then you, in order to compete with them, you have to provide similar features for them. So identify neck to neck connective competitive rivalry among each other. That you have to also analyze. Then coming to supplier power. Supplier power means when you are building a product, you are dependent upon the multiple supplier. Let's take example. Suppose if you are working in any company, and when you are working with a client, you need basic assets like laptop, mouse, or even you can say video conferencing devices, especially so that you can connect with a team member. Now, suppose the laptop vendor like Dell, HP, or even Lenovo, they are not able to provide the laptop on time. Ultimately, you are not able to provide the delivery to the customers as well as the end clients. It will be automatically delayed. So how quickly the supplier will actually meet your requirements? That is basically called a supplier power, because you are dependent upon them. If they provide early, they provide best quality raw material, you will be able to develop the product early. Then buyer power. Buyer power, I told you, it is directly related to willingness to pay. How much customers is comfortable to pay within a particular range so that they can start using the product. And threat of substitute means, are you having competition with the substitutes? Just like I gave you the example with the Pepsi and Coke, the Nimbu Pani, the Rasna, and other, you can say options available in the market that indirectly create impact onto your product delivery. So identify what are the substitutes, what is their scale, what is their pricing, what is their preferences, and accordingly analyze each and every element that will make you compatible enough to apply Porter 5 forces. So analyze what type of product, what type of industry, what type of market, and pick up that tool and apply in your research work. Any questions so far? Yeah, any questions?
No, Priyank.
Srikanth, your voice is breaking. Srikanth, your voice is breaking actually.
Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, but your voice is breaking actually.
Okay, there might be some network issue here.
You can type in the chat. Okay, you can type in the chat. I will cover 2 more slides, then we can take small break. I know it's very difficult to stay continuous for 2.5 hours. So I will give you the 5 to 10 minute short break also. But first I will cover the 2 related slides, then we can take the short break. Coming to the market research. So far we discussed about user research, which is basically understanding the persona, understanding their preferences, understanding their requirements, and accordingly you noted down their attributes. But what about market research? Market research basically depends upon the market. Now in the market, you are not alone in selling the product and services. There are other companies, other startups, other big MNCs or corporates are also creating the product. Just like, let me give an example. Suppose if you have to purchase, you can say laptop for your family member. Is there only one company available in the market? No, there are multiple brands are there. They have multiple options are there. There are multiple price range is also there. So you actually conduct the research on the ground, understanding what options Lenovo is provided, what options HP is providing, Dell is providing, Macintosh is providing. So many brands are there, so many features are there. You actually evaluate each and everything and then come up with your own preferences and then decide where you have to go. But when you are building a product from scratch as a product manager, first of all, you have to analyze, is the product already exist in the market? If yes, who is providing? How many competitors are providing that product? What are their strengths? What are their weakness? And accordingly, you will be able to identify the gap. And once you identify the gap, you think about how you can overcome the gap by building those features which your competitors are not providing. That's why it is necessary to conduct the market research, because it's very important to analyze your competitors, because once your product is launched, you have to compete with them. And once you have to compete with them, the user have multiple options. Either they can continue to use the existing product, or either they will come back to your brand and start using your goods and services. That's why market research is important, because this will give you the clarity. Where are you right now? What they are providing, what is missing, and how you can fulfill the gaps and build those features in your product and become the king of the market. That's why market research is very, very important. And same thing applicable here, proactive as well as reactive. Now, why both proactive and reactive comes up in market? Let me give an example. Suppose if you are working in Flipkart and you came to know that tonight Amazon is launching one biggest sale, especially for Basant Panchami. Especially for Basant Panchami, the upcoming festival in Feb, they want to create and announce a mega sale for the customer. But as a Flipkart product manager, you are sitting idle, you are not doing anything, and all of a sudden you came about this particular news. Now you have realized that if Amazon launched this particular sale, especially for 7 days in the month of Feb, then you are actually losing the customer, because if the customers are getting a product at a profitable range, then why they will come on Flipkart? Ultimately, they will easily attract toward the Amazon and it will impact your sale. So here you are adopting the reactive market approach, analyzing why Amazon is coming with this whole. You started doing the research, analyze what options they are providing, and quickly plan the similar kind of product on your website or other options to the customer, so that you don't lose any of those particular premium customer and they will continue to attract with you. So this is how you have to do reactive market research, what they are doing, analyzing each and everything, analyze the pros and cons, identify the issues, and then come up with your own product. That is reactive. Proactive means every year the same trend is coming up and you actually do the in-depth planning. Just like in the month of, just like right now, Kumbh Mela, you can say, is going on, especially in Prayagraj. Then ultimately you are doing proactive research, because this is not just coming up first time. Before that, a lot of planning actually happened at the ground level, and you have to understand how you can get the maximum sale out of those particular things. What are the options the customer can explore? And for that, you are actually conducting the proactive market research. Now, so that if in future, if you are interested in getting into this kind of, you can say, domain, then year on year, what you can do, that actually comes up with the proactive one. Because same thing, if it is happening every year, and same thing which your competitors are also adopting, then proactive is the most one. And if you are conducting research on your own, you have to refer the primary research, because you are executing all the tools at the ground level. But if you don't want to invest time and money, then you can refer to the secondary research. I can see one participant has mentioned the question. Is there any website app that is used for the user search? Yeah, Tejasvi, actually, there are tons of websites are there. But if you want to go for free research, then nobody will validate their authenticity. But if you want legitimate information, then you have to pay for that. There are so many consulting firms in the market like Deloitte, EY, KPMG, or even McKinsey, BCG, Bain, Accenture Strategy, even ThousandRig and Gartner. They are publishing the reports every month or every quarter regarding the user research. And through that particular user research, you actually refer that data and think about it and come up with your own innovative ideas and products. So many websites are there, but if you really want to refer, go with the consulting firm's websites. Some of the data is free of cost, but if you want customized report, then you have to pay for that. Clear, Tejasvi? Okay. One more slide I will cover up, especially for, you can say,
So Priyank, just to ask, which kind of approach is like beneficial or company would be looking for? Would it be the proactive or the reactive one?
It depends upon which state you are right now. If you are already existing firm or already launched the product in the market and you have to improve, then you have to apply reactive one. But if you are the first one who want to build the product from scratch, then proactive you have to apply.
So is it in terms of like our product is already in the market, or is it that the similar product is also available in the market?
It depends upon both actually, Vijay. So
Uh-huh.
suppose if you are already in the market and you are doing well, but somehow some other company will come up with a different product, just like DeepSeek has automatically comes up to come up with their own AI model. Earlier, everyone was sitting silent because major tech companies belongs to the US market. But now it has created disturbance in the market. Now they become reactive. What we can do, because they are selling the, you can say, the AI solution through their model at the lowest cost. Now ultimately they are adopting to the reactive one. But previously, when none of the company was actually selling their own AI model, then they were becoming the proactive only. So understand, you are in the blue ocean or you are in the red ocean. The blue ocean means you are alone in the market. Red ocean means there are so many competitors are there, but now they want to snatch the customer from you. So accordingly, depending upon the market situation, depending upon the product you are building, you can apply reactive or proactive.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Welcome. One point I would like to tell you here is that when you conduct the research, understand couple of points. First is understand which industry you want to cater, just like fintech, IT, consumer electronics, pharma, healthcare, automobile, construction. First, identify the industry. Second, once your industry is identified, then understand the market. Is it a blue ocean or it is a red ocean? How much the market is competitive? And then once you identify the market, then understand the market player like competitors. कितने companies हैं उसके अंदर? That is a competitor. And then go for identifying the different type of user. उसके कौन से user हैं? Are they children? Are they adult? Are they senior citizen? Are they homemaker? Are they working class professionals? Or you can say the lower class people. Who are the customer? So many factors you have to consider. First is your industry, then market, then competitors, as well as the category of user. These four things you have to analyze. This will give you the right outcome, because this will give you the direction of your research. You can't waste the time here and there, because user research or market research actually consume a lot of time. It involves a lot of efforts, and the deadline is very critical for you. You don't have infinite time to conduct research every day. No, it's not like that. You have a limited time, limited budget, limited resources, and you have to set the right direction. And ultimately, you have to develop the product in the shortest span of time. For that, these four elements you have to quickly consider, put into consideration, and then take that required action. So market, industry, competitor, and the category of user. These four attributes you have to put into consideration before research anything. Clear? So with that note, you can take short break of 10 minutes, come back at sharp 7:06, and then we can continue it. So take 7 minute short break. We will resume session at 7:06. I am writing in the chat window. Welcome back, everyone. All of you are back?
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's get started. So basically, I was telling that when you conduct the user research or market research, there were two type of involved, like primary and secondary. And we use multiple, you can say, uh, tools like interview, focus group, or even survey. Now, when you conduct the, you can say, interviews and interact with the customer, first of all, you have to be very clear about who is your customer. And for that, we have to define the persona. Persona is basically a dummy character, but represent the real attribute of a customer. Let me give example, just like previously I was talking about the supermarket or shopping mall. When you visit, let's take example, you visit Big Bazaar, especially on weekend. On weekend, especially 5,000 customer usually walk in a big, you can say tier one city. Okay. Between, you can say 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, when you see the stats of those 5,000 customers, you will see similarity like children, adult, senior citizen, homemakers, or even the employees who are working there. Now, when you have to decide their attributes, you define the persona. You create a dummy character of it, you can say children, or dummy character of a, you can say, senior citizen, listed down certain attributes like age, education, or even you can say hobbies, as well as challenges or pain point. So why this is required? This is required to think from their perspective. When you actually become a product manager, you have to put yourself into the shoes of a customer. And if you put yourself into the shoes of a customer, ultimately you develop empathy and you analyze what are their weakness, what are their problems, what are their expectations, and something they are fond of. And accordingly, if you fulfill their requirement by building the features in your product, definitely they will appreciate your product. That's why persona is really important. It's basically, you can say, an important tool in user research that actually help you to provide the right solution for the right user. Now, how to present the persona? On the slide, you can see there are several examples are there, especially for one company like HubSpot. If suppose you see there are similarity in their organization, like all the business owners have similar attributes. Just give me 1 second. I'm getting one call. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. So if you can see that all the business owners of the company, they have the similar persona. And if you can see all the marketing guys or all the enterprise guys, they have the different persona, especially for the team who are working in that domain. Now let's take example for the enterprise, you can say persona for that HubSpot. What details are actually covered? One is the dummy picture. One is the dummy picture of the customer. You can present by giving them certain name. Then the basic attributes like the name, the title, the designation, the, you can say, age, and the gender. And most important is, are they single or married? And you can say their motivation, that is a goal. And finally, the challenges, that is a pain point. Now, why this is required to capture these kind of detail? This is required so that you can design the product by understanding who is the customer going to use it and what solution you are providing by looking at the challenges. Let me give a simple example for the Grow Junction case. Now, suppose if you are designing a product, especially online platform, so that you can provide education on product management and the skill set so that the students or the working professional can develop and they can crack their dream role in product management. So what will be the ideal persona? Let's take example, you have two persona. One is for the student and one is for the working professional. If you are creating a persona for working professional, what will be their age? Typically between 24 to 35. The gender, both male and female. And in fact, that you can say the skill set you can mention, it can be software engineer, it can be tester, it can be quality analyst, SME, solution architect, or even marketer, or even business development guy. That could be the, you can say, possible current title they are holding. What is their goal? Crack their dream role in suppose big tech companies, or you can say the startups. Challenges, they don't know about how to get into different vertical. They don't have experience. They don't have exposure. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the background. That will come under your challenges. Same thing you have to do with the student persona also. Student, the age would be between 17 to 24. And then the challenges would be they have no awareness about product. Companies are not coming into their campus and they are in different domain. Means they are not doing suppose BTech, they are doing commerce. And how they can directly transition as a first level job in product management. So they become their challenges. So identify each and everything in such a format so that it should be easy to read, it would be friendly, and you immediately take a decision as a product manager what to do next and how you can provide the solution. That's why persona is very important. After creating the persona, you will analyze the decision-making ability by looking at majorly the challenges or sacrifice. Because these challenges are really important. Once you build the solution, you have to verify that their challenges and pain points are properly addressed. If any of the challenge or pain point is not addressed, don't launch the product in the market. Otherwise, you will start getting the customer complaint or it will create a negative perception into the market because you designed the product for them and they are going to use it. But if any of the attribute is left as it is, then customer will not appreciate your product. So make sure each and every challenges should be addressed properly by providing the feasible and realistic solution so that customer will start using your product. After persona, the next tool which we are using is empathy map. So I told you that when you interact with the customer as a user research through interviews, surveys, or focus group, isolate the complete conversation with the customer. Like suppose if you have a 20 minutes conversation with a customer, then identify what is being discussed in those 20-minute conversation and classify that piece of conversation data into 6 different quadrants, like what customer think, what customer feel, what customer hear, what customer see, and what customer say, and what customer actually do. And based upon that, you list down their pain point and the gain point. So 6 different clusters are there. Let me tell one by one. What customer think and feel means by looking at the product, what they think. Just like suppose if you directly ask the customer, did you ever get a chance to try this product? Have you seen the product physically from your own eyes? What do you feel? Whether this will actually solve your problem? So you are asking their opinion about what is their visualization about the product. Because sometimes your thinking and feeling actually give different kind of instinct from the customer. मतलब customer ने क्या देखा, customer ने क्या सोचा और customer ने उस product के बारे में क्या feel किया. That actually get intrinsic motivation for the customer whether they are really interested to try this product or not. Then second is what customer hear. Now what they hear, basically they hear majorly from either friends, family, relatives, neighbors, or even from the blogs, articles, website और टीवी एडवर्टाइजमेंट. मतलब कस्टमर ने क्या सुना, कहां से सुना, कौन कौन से नियरेस्ट लोग थे, that will be listed from this particular piece of quadrant. Then customer has what customer has seen. So customer ने क्या देखा, customer has seen the user feedback reviews, seller feedback reviews, and even the overall feedback from the customer, especially in their own, you can say proximity, like their family member, their friend, their relative, as well as their neighbor. उनका क्या feedback है और वो feedback कितना सही है. They are extracting that information from the conversation. Then what customers say and do. This is actually reflecting the attitude and behavior. What I say means your attitude. आपने customer ने क्या बोला? Are they interested to try or not? That is their attitude. What the customer do? Did they actually tried? It becomes their behavior. So behavior is basically the outcome of your attitude actions. If they say something and do it accordingly, then ultimately it becomes their reflection or behavior. So what is their attitude? What is their behavior? That will be listed in this quadrant. Now, what problems they have identified and expressed themselves, that become their gain, and that become their pain point. And then finally, gain. Gain is little bit tricky. Gain means what benefit they are getting after trying competitor product in the market. Because you are not alone in the market. There are so many competitors are there in the market. Now, suppose if they are associated with existing brand or existing company, and suppose they are paying X amount of money, definitely they must be getting certain benefit. What benefit are they getting? That becomes a gain point. Now, why it is necessary to capture gain point also? Because the moment you develop any product, you have to not only just cover the pain point, but also the gain point. Because if you miss the current options which is available in the computer, then customer will not be happy. At least you have to provide the same as it is. Let me give an example. Right now, you know that election is going on for Delhi Vidhan Sabha. Now, previously in the last 12 years, Aam Aadmi Party is providing so many freebies. But nowadays, when election is about to happen on 5th of Feb, then after 2-3 days only, now BJP is also telling that we will continue the freebies as it is. Congress also telling we will continue the freebies as it is. Why? Because if they don't continue the freebies as it is, and if they provide their own, you can say freebies, but discontinue the previous one, then voter will not be able to decide in the right way to whom they have to cast the vote. Because whatever the benefits right now they are getting, it will be immediately stopped. So at least they have to provide the same thing as it is, so that they will develop the confidence from the parties and cast their vote accordingly. So something which is already available and which is already provided by existing competitor, that should always there. That should be acting as a benchmark. So gain point will actually becomes a strong evidence of the benchmark. What is available right now, that should be 100% applicable for you also. That has become your gain point. So 6 quadrant, if you create, and at the center, this will be your persona. This is the holistic picture of empathy mapping, because this will actually tell the complete psychology of the customer. What customer think about your product, what customer feel about your product, what customer hear about your product from others, what customer see from their own eyes, and what is their psychology, whether they want to try your product or they are actually trying it. If they are trying it, what is their pain point and what benefits they are getting from the similar options available in the market. This is a complete 360-degree view of your own persona, that is empathy map. Any questions on this?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, how do we fill this empathy map? Like, will it be the surveys and interviews which we get done using third-party consulting firms?
Extract the information.
Sorry?
When you interact with the customer through survey or interviews, you actually, you can say bifurcate the, you can say conversation in 6 different quadrants. You ask so many questions. Now, when you interact with a customer, you actually ask so many questions from the customer, like which product you are using, are you satisfied, dissatisfied, what problem you have faced in the past, what benefit they are providing, and do you feel that this problem is genuine only for you or other customers are also facing. Do you feel any of your family member will also try this particular product? How much you are willing to pay? The kind of answers they are giving you, you are actually bifurcating the responses in 6 different quadrants. So it's basically the extraction of the data through the user or through your interviews and surveys.
So basically, this is a part of the research which we do
Absolutely.
for the users.
It's a tool. It's basically a tool to provide the right piece of data. That's it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Welcome. So we discussed 2 tools, persona and empathy map. There is one more important tool we are also using in user market researches, that is user journey. And in some cases, it is also called as customer journey also. Now, what is this customer journey or user journey? It's a journey of the customer about their experience. Let's take example. Suppose Vijay, you have recently go to the Kumbh Mela. Now, if I take your interview, then I will ask each and every question. So Vijay, how did you plan? How much you can say? How did you plan your travel? And if you have traveled, suppose by car, so how much you pay for the toll tax? How much distance you traveled? Which cities? Which route you have followed? What are the problems you have come up on the way? Then you start narrating your experience. Just like up to Prayagraj, I didn't face the issue. When I enter it here, then I have to put my car on the you can say car parking area. I have to travel by on my own legs, especially for 10 kilometers. Then I you can say face the problem for stampede also. Then I come back, and then you can say I become late, especially from my plan. So you are narrating each and every experience, right? Now this experience, if I plot down, I will plot in the form of your experience. Whatever you communicate, that becomes your word of you can say moments of truth. आपने क्या कहा वो बन गया moments of truth. These are basically touch points. Just like from the booking, suppose if you travel by flight, you responded me that I paid a huge amount of money for buying the air ticket. Suppose you paid 38,000, which is the current cost for one-way travel for one person. Suppose you are booking a flight from Delhi to Prayagraj, you paid actually for 38,000. What will be your reaction? Obviously, you become disappointed because before Kumbh Mela it was just 4,000, but you paid 38,000, and you travel with 4 family members, or automatically 2.5 lakh is invested in your travel. So what will be your reaction? You become disappointed. But when you travel by flight, somehow during the onboarding of the flight, suppose it is neutral. But when you reach on time, suppose you become happy. But when you enter into the Kumbh, you can say Mela area, you become disappointed. So you are narrating your own experiences one by one. That is basically your moments of truth. If your experience is disappointed, then it becomes a moments of misery. But if your experience is positive, then it becomes a moments of magic. So basically, moments of truth are of 2 categories: moments of misery or moments of magic. Though I draw a curve where you were positive and where you were negative. Now, why this curve is important? Because it will help me to perform 2 actions. As a product manager, first of all, my priority would be how I can convert the negative to positive. Means how I can convert moments of misery to moments of magic. Second, in certain areas where your experience is almost neutral or just above neutral, you can say 2 out of 5. How I can increase from 2 out of 5 to 5 out of 5. मतलब और क्या बेहतर कर सकता हूं? हालांकि आपका पर्पस अचीव हो गया, but how I can improve to the next level. That is basically called as the next level of improvement. So first priority should be negative to positive, and second priority should be less positive to more positive. That's how I can provide the seamless experience to the customer. But in order to provide seamless experience to the customer, first I should have a clarity about of his or her journey. उसका journey कैसा जा रहा है? If I am not aware about their transactions, how I can provide the best world-class features in my product so that customer will be happy and satisfied. I hope this is clear, everyone. Any questions?
Not exactly related to this one, but there's like one random question coming to my mind is like
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much
well,
generally a company pays to these companies like KPMG or Deloitte for surveys and other things.
they are paying in lakhs or lakhs for the data. They make huge amount of money.
And what all factors are involved? Like, is it based upon the like number of questions or the what we
They
say
give the preferences. Just like suppose Vijay, you are designing one app
Mhm.
and you need data. You need to interact with the customer, but you don't have time. So you reach out to those consulting firms. They conduct the research on your behalf, but you give the preference that I want to sell the product for the school going children only, or I want to sell the product only for the teachers or educators, or I want to sell the product only for the faculty members who are teaching this kind of course. You have to tell each and every preference, and then they will quote the price. They will conduct the research on your behalf. They will give you the data, And through the data, if you have any concerns or if you have any challenges, or if you feel that this research is not appropriately documented, then they will reconduct the same. If it is, you can say, acceptable, you take decision on the same and then design the product, build the product, and then test the product. This is how it's a time consuming. The money is also involved. Efforts are also involved here.
Okay, and in real world, who has this authority to like consult with these consulting firms? Like,
Marcom team, marketing communication,
okay,
who actually connect with those agencies, firms, and give the preference, and then they will receive the data.
I'm sorry, like my questions might be out of touch or something like that, but
Yeah, no problem. Keep on asking. Yeah.
thank you.
So basically, user research is actually very time-consuming task. But in order to conduct the research, you should be very clear. Let me give example. I am sure you don't conducted any research before opting this product management program. There are tons of players available in the market, but you also consider multiple factors like pricing, your convenience, recording of the session in case if you miss that, and the job opportunities or networking opportunities available, and how much effort is required to do the certification. Who are the mentors who will help you to teach? What is the profile of the mentor? And how old the organization is? What is the feedback of the past student? Each and every factor you must have considered. Nah? That's why you are enrolled in this particular program. So basically, you also did that particular user research also. Maybe you have connected with the past students also, or learners who have completed this course. And definitely they have narrated the experience with you also. Accordingly, you took the decision. So just like you are purchasing any TV, fridge, washing machine, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or enrolled in any kind of online courses or certification program, you did the research for yourself. Same thing you have to do as a product manager, because you are creating the product for user. You are not going to use the product on your own. You are creating the product for user. User will consume your features. That's why understand their psychology, understand their experience, and build the product accordingly. Okay.
Yep, sure.
So the example which is there on the screen is related to online shopping cart journey, just like what motivates you to open the app, how you search the website, which platform you have selected like Amazon, Flipkart, or you can say other Jabong, Myntra, vagera, or Blinkit, and how you price the site, how much time it has taken to place the order, how much time you can say you get the order ID's number, and how quickly you receive the delivery. Each and every experience you capture, and accordingly you will decide whether I have to build a similar application or improve the existing application. So basically the point is persona, empathy map, and customer journey together will give you the real insight what product you have to build up. On top of that, certain other attributes you have to keep in mind while conducting the research, like how your industry performing, how your competitors are performing. That also plays an important role. Now, why market, why industry, why company stats are important? Because this will give you clear idea whether you will be able to achieve the financial goals or not. Because when you build a product, the money is involved. You have to make a lot of investment. And at what price you have to sell, it depends upon how market is performing, how industry is performing. Let's take example of a healthcare. Healthcare market is overpriced in major developed nations, just like US, you can say Canada, Australia, Singapore, or Germany. These areas, the healthcare industry is actually very costly. Not only just you can say the OPD charges are very high, doctor consultation fees is very high. The associated product and services in healthcare industry is also very costly. Just like suppose if you want to avail healthcare insurance or medical insurance, it is also very costly. The vaccines, the medicines are also very costly. But if you see the stats in Indian market, it is comparatively cheaper as compared to other industry. You can get a cheaper health insurance, you can get a cheaper medicine, you can get cheaper OPD consultation also, and you have a different exposure from the different variety of doctors as well. So if you enter in this market, suppose let's take example India, and suppose you are building, you are creating a healthcare products, then ultimately you cannot overprice, because in India, the market is cheaper as compared to other domain. But if you are creating a product in Japan, there the market is costly and you have to set the price which match their you can say standard. So how your industry is performing, accordingly you have to set the price. That's why these financial data is also playing a major role. So at least last 3 to 5 years financial stats you have to put into consideration, and accordingly you can take a decision how much customer is willing to pay, and accordingly you set the price, keeping in mind how your industry is performing in your area. Okay. Now, once you conduct the research, the task is not over. The biggest problem is how you analyze the data. आपने डेटा कलेक्ट कर लिया, बट डेटा को एनालाइज करना बहुत ही टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है, because you have to take the decision out of it. For that, we use sentimental analysis. Sentimental analysis means once you have the data, how you take the decision. And in order to take the decision, there are 4 steps involved in data analysis. First is transcribe, then categorization, then synthesis, and then visualization. Let me tell one by one. Transcribe means the exact statement narrated by the user. मतलब कस्टमर ने क्या कहा एक्चुअली, क्या फीडबैक दिया, क्या ओपिनियन दिया, that basically called as transcribe. Let me give one simple example. Right now in the session, there are total 10 participants are there, including me, there are 10. I am assuming 9 are learners and 1 is instructor here. Now, if I say that I take the feedback from each one of you, suppose Vijay give the feedback that I like the slides. Tejasvi said that I like the instructor. Mansi shared that the content I covered was irrelevant. And suppose Navya says that I didn't understand anything. Suppose Shrikant communicate that I don't like Zoom platform where the session is conducted. I prefer Google Meet or MS Team. Suppose Vishal or Saurabh says that the time was not optimal. It should be, you can say 5 hours session should be there. And suppose Mansi says that it was too short, at least time should be more. So every person will give different feedback. But if I have to take this feedback into consideration, I have to analyze each and every statement. But if I hear each and every statement, I will not be able to come to the conclusion, because some people says positive, some people says negative. But I don't know how many positive, how many negative, how much is the similarity or dissimilarity, and I become confused. So initially, if you read those statements, that becomes the transcribed analysis, because you are reading each and every single statement of the customer. But if the customer count is huge, you become confused. अगर 2-3 customer हैं, feedback समझ लोगे, decide कर लोगे. It is very easy to take quick decision if the customer count is less. But if the customer count is huge, let's take thousands or hundreds or lakhs, then this transcribe will not work. For that, you have to go to the next level, that is categorization. For each customer, you split the data in positive or negative. Nine means what customer say positive, what customer says negative. Just like suppose Vijay says that today's session was good, but the slides was somehow more lengthy or more text heavy. So I am analyzing the positive and negative of each and every customer. But suppose if the count is huge, then I forget everything, like what Vijay communicated, what Tejasvi communicated, what Mansi communicated, what Saurabh communicated. I forget everything. If 2-3 people are there, I can easily remember and take the decision on the spot. But if count is again huge, then I completely forget what was their positive, what was their negative for individual basis. Then the next step I have to go to simplify here is apply synthesis step. Synthesis step means for each attribute, how many people say positive, how many people say negative. Just like suppose if I talk about slide, how many people are happy with the slide? How many people are disappointed with the slide? How many people are satisfied with the instructor or disappointed? How many people are satisfied with the Zoom platform or other platform? How many people say that the time of this session was less or more? So accordingly, I will find out the count of the people who said positive, who said negative. It's just like a Excel spreadsheet format. एक टेबल बना लिया, उसमें हर एट्रीब्यूट का आपने पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव का काउंट डाल दिया. But still, you are not able to take the decision, because if the attributes are very high, that decision is not easy. In order to take a quick decision from the data, you go with the last step, that is basically called as visualization. The charts actually help to visualize the data as quickly as possible. So what you will do, the data which is there in the spreadsheet, you will plot in the form of a chart. And chart is easy to analyze. Just like if you see this chart, for the aesthetic parameter, 100% positive, good to go. Navigation, 20% negative, 80% positive. Good to go. Layout, 50-50. Definitely we have to think about in more detail. Visual, more negative, less positive. Definitely a scope of improvement. Immediately by looking at the, you can say graph, you can immediately take the desired action. That's how the visualization technique works. So basically, human element is most important, and they actually prefer visualization more as compared to the textual data, because by looking at the visual, you immediately take the action, and this is how your decision making ability also improve. So see, research, I told you it's a time consuming task, but you have to build the product early. In order to build the product early, you have to get the right understanding from the data as quickly as possible. For that, we use sentimental analysis so that you don't waste your time. Quickly decide by looking at the data and then start designing the product, building product, launch the product, and later on upscale the product to the next level. For that, sentimental analysis plays a major role.
And which tool is being used for this sentiment analysis?
Multiple Power BI, Tableau, multiple data visualization tools are there.
So that specific, like if we take an example of Power BI, so we'll be able to do all the 4 tasks using the same tool?
You directly get the visualization. You directly get that. You have a customized option. Once you enter the data, it extract and directly give you the visualization. You don't have to do anything. These are internal steps only.
Okay. So the data which we'll be receiving from the survey companies like KPMG, so we are just going to insert into that Power BI tool and we'll be having the visualization.
Absolutely. You will get customized dashboard options and extract the data and take decision accordingly. Basically, once you get the data, you have to meet with multiple stakeholders and take the decision accordingly. But once you present the data, ultimately it will give you the option to visualize it and take the decision accordingly. Okay, just like, let me give a simple example. Whenever you, just like in the Excel, when you are using the pivot function, in the pivot function, you have to select the filter one by one. Just like you see the data for the male, you need the data for the female, you need the data for the location wise. Each and every filter you have to apply manually. But Power BI or Tableau actually give you a brilliant option to present the data in multiple attributes simultaneously so that you can identify the similarity or dissimilarity, and you will take a decision accordingly. So these data visualization tools actually help you to take the decision in the shortest span of time. Okay. Tejasvi, Mansi, any questions so far?
No, all good. Thank you.
Okay. So, as I told you earlier, that don't directly involved in conducting any kind of research. Have a clarity about the goal. Have a clarity about agenda. You should have a definite objective. And once you have the objective, decide the persona. And based upon the persona, you do the empathy mapping and analyze their customer journey. And once you analyze the customer journey, think about what you can do differently so that their pain point can be addressed or experience can be improved. And that's how you get the data, analyze the data with the help of sentimental analysis, and take the decision. This is how the research is all about. So research, basically, it's a step-by-step process where you have the goal, you have the tool, you have the data, and then you take the decision and put into consideration. So that's why don't bypass any of the research. Never ever bypass research, because research is really important. It will give you the right direction. And in order to conduct the research, interact as many users as possible, because through interviews, you will get qualitative data. But when users are not approachable, you can go for the surveys. But make sure the survey should be conducted with the right set of data. Don't conduct the research with the incorrect people. Otherwise, you will get biased inputs. Let me give an example. Suppose if you are selling a product, like let's take example. Suppose you are creating a cosmetic product, especially for female. But if you conduct the survey on male participant, then will they be able to give the data? No. So make sure you circulate the survey with the right target audience who will be eligible to participate in your survey. If you run the survey with incorrect or you can say participant, ultimately you will get biased data. And it's your duty to allocate the survey to the right user. Or if suppose you have multiple response coming from incorrect data, incorrect user, you have to filter out those biased data. So that once you are about to decide anything, that noise should be eliminated and you will be able to improve the experience to the customer in the shortest span of time. So रिसर्च करना आसान है, इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, बट सही तरीके से रिसर्च करने के लिए आपको पूरा गोल, पूरा ऑब्जेक्टिव सेट करना पड़ेगा. That is the most challenging task for the product manager, to whom you should give the secondary research, how you will conduct the research, which tool you have to conduct, and how you analyze the data. It actually consumes a lot of efforts for the product manager. But don't bypass this. It's very critical for that. Okay.
One question. Can you give an example in this case? Like, for example, if you're starting an app, for example, an astrology app. So what will be our goal of research, and how will we start using user data and market research together? If you give an example from starting to end, it would be very good summarization to summarize this.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to understand from you, like what type of solution you want to provide from astrology app. If I have that clarity, I would be able to tell you in
Sure.
detail.
Like, for example, a similar competitor of AstroTalk, I would say, with some enhanced features and some enhanced services, but a similar competitor of AstroTalk.
That's okay, but which domain of astrology app you want to cover? Like what service you want to provide?
Online astrology consulting.
Online astrology consulting. Now, okay, good. So first of all, when you are about to conduct a research, understand the preferences of the customer. Are they looking for offline consultation or are they looking for online one? That is the first part. वो customer क्या लेना चाहता है, offline या online? Second thing is, who are the customers who are easily targeted to sell your product and services? Who is using astrology more? Especially Generation Y or baby boomer customer. Generation Z actually don't care about astrology.
Correct. But how will we get to know about this? Who are the customers, and are they interested offline or online?
The
How will it?
person who are confused in their career, in their life, or facing struggle, they are easily approachable for you. जिसकी लाइफ में सब कुछ सही चल रहा है, वो क्या एस्ट्रोलॉजी में विश्वास करेगा? You tell me.
Maybe yes, maybe not. It's
But chances are very less.
yeah,
Chances
correct.
are very less.
Correct.
Maybe they will not trust, or if they trust, then it's very difficult to convince them. But those people who are 100% confused or facing a lot of problems in their life or their career, then they are easily approachable and you can sell the product easily. So those
Okay.
customers would be the right target audience for your research.
Okay, so what would be the goal of the research in this case?
In the goal of the research would be to improve their life, and most important, give the direction in the shortest span of time.
So
Basically, to astrology, they want to see the direction.
so this is the goal of the research, or this is the
Yeah.
goal of the business? Because ideally this
The
should be the
goal
goal.
of the research is identify the right direction. Identify the right direction at the right time. That is the goal. Objective is different. Objective for the business perspective is how you can provide consultation, which is affordable, which is profitable. That is the business objective. Basically आप क्या कर रहे हो? Consultation provide कर रहे हो ना? So that customer, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि मैंने जो एडवाइस दे दी वो तेजस्वी को भी वही हेल्प करेगी, विजय को भी करेगी. Despite they have a different profession, despite they have a different career journey, I am providing a more customized consultation based upon the astrology. So this will be a business objective.
Okay.
If you want basic consultation, you have a lower package. If you want more customized, you can say plan, then you have a different package. So basically it's a customized offering for individual customer. You cannot sell to the mass customer, the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So what detail you will capture? You will capture the date. You will capture the birth date, month and year. You will capture the education, you will capture the location, and you will also capture the time of their birth. So तीन चार चीजें आपको कैप्चर करनी है. Based upon that, you will be able to provide the customized solution and customized consultation.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, Vishal.
I was just one question, if you can comment within the same example.
Vishal, your voice is breaking
Which
actually.
stage of this particular within the same example, or we can utilize
Vishal,
something
can you
else?
repeat once more because your voice is cracking?
Sure. Am I clear now, or is it still
Yeah,
cracked?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Perfect. So I was just saying that within the same example, if we can also somehow inculcate the user persona aspect within the
Yeah,
market research, like at what stage we can use the user persona to
absolutely.
further improve.
Wonderful. So basically, you can include that the most important decision when they are going to take, especially when they're about to start their career, when they're about to enter into business, when they're about to get married, and most important, when they're about to expand their family. These are the most important touch point where you can explore the possibility of selling to the mass market. Okay.
Okay, so within like like in the initial stage of, or rather in
Absolutely.
the uh, I would say at the end stage of our markets research, we have the user personas as well, and
Absolutely.
then we can analyze.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, one last slide is left. That is, you can say the A/B testing. A/B testing is actually talk about how to take the final decision according to the preferences of the customer that improve their experience. Let me give simple example. Suppose if you are booking a flight ticket, now there are multiple ways to provide options to the customer. Suppose you design the UI, that is user interface, in such a way that you ask the customer to manually enter the source, manually enter the destination, manually enter the date and the time of the travel. मतलब एक आपने ऑप्शन तैयार कर लिया फ्रंट एंड का जिसमें यूजर लोकेशन डाल रहा है, डेस्टिनेशन डाल रहा है, डेट डाल रहा है और टाइम डाल रहा है, एंड देन दे आर गेटिंग द रिसर्च रिजल्ट. That is one interface you have developed. Second interface you have developed is by providing the menu option. They have to select the drop down filter and select the city accordingly, or they can directly type first two alphabets and accordingly it will give you the search appearance. Just like suppose Vijay has to travel from Delhi to Bangalore. Vijay just select the drop down filter and scroll down when the D is coming up. Or suppose if you don't want to scroll down, he just type the first character, that is DE. That's it. Ultimately, it will give you small options and he can select easily. Similarly, for the destination and in the date, the calendar option you have provided, so that first you select year, then month, and then date. So that's which one is most comfortable for the customer. You created two different options, option A, option B. And according to that, you take the opinion from the customer. Will you like this interface or would you like the second interface? So top two, you identified and seek the opinion from the customer and let the customer decide. And based upon their, you can say, preferences, and based upon the common, you can say, outcome, you decide with the final interface and design accordingly and build the solution accordingly. This is how you conduct the A/B testing, but it is 100% reactive. Why? Because you are involving the customer in having conversation with you, and based upon their outcome, you actually take the desired action. That's how A/B testing plays a major role. Okay, I hope this is clear.
Yes.
Let me give another example. Just like take the example of a Zoom. In the Zoom, wait a minute. In the Zoom, you might have seen that there is a share option in the center. What will happen? Suppose if the share option is not on the center, but on the left or on the right. It will be difficult to identify because majority of the Zoom is basically taken care by either the host or the meeting organizer or the instructor or trainer. They want to share the screen. That's why it should be positioned accordingly. But for the participant, they want mute, unmute, or video on or off on the left-hand side. because it's easy to relocate for that. So right positioning of the options is really important. So which user wants most and at per their convenience. So you can present in different format and ask the user to take their feedback. Whatever they suggest that this option is positioned in the right way, or I want this more convenient option. Ultimately, you go with that and then design the product accordingly. Yeah, who was asking question in the middle? Please go ahead. Yeah, someone was saying something. Am I audible?
Yes, you're
Yes,
audible.
Okay. So that's was the complete agenda for today. So in a nutshell, I can say you will never have all the answers. Research is always an iterative process. And that's how the product building means. You can't say that my research is complete because every day the challenges are coming up. The customers are becoming more and more educated. The market is changing. The organization are agile. And that's how you have to continuously conduct the research in the ongoing fashion. Because if your competitors are upgrading, then you also have to upgrade. Just like suppose right now, 2 years back, there was no chat GPT. But now chat GPT has come up, now DeepSeek has come up. So after a couple of months, new technology may come up, new model have come up. But if you don't do cross-skilling and upskilling, after a certain point of time, your skills become outdated and no employer will going to hire you. So that's how you have to continuously learn and upgrade your skills. Same thing applicable for product managers also, because every day new challenges are coming up, new guidelines are coming up, new policies are coming into the picture, and new technology is coming up. And accordingly, you have to upscale the product to the latest version so that it will improve or enhance the customer. Because right now, customers are very smart. Customers are very smart. The market is completely changed. Earlier, you have 2 or 3 options are there in the market, but now customer will have tons of options. And if you don't satisfy the customer will easily walk away. One thing you have to remember that customer never ever buy your product. Customer आपके कभी product खरीदता ही नहीं है. Customer क्या खरीदता है? Customer are actually purchasing the promises of a better life. Customers are purchasing the promises of a better life. Now, whosoever give the best promise, they will easily attach with them. जिसके भरोसे में ताकत होगी, जिसका प्रॉमिस अच्छा होगा और जो प्रॉमिस पूरा करेगा, customer will attract to them. Because if you miss any promise, customer will not give you another option, another chance. They can easily switch to your competitor. And once they switch to your competitor, it's very difficult to retain them back. That's why product managers are always consistently doing the research, which is iterative process, and accordingly they enhance the features and continuously upgrade the product. आपने देखा होगा आपके मोबाइल ऐप में continuously alert आते हैं, notifications आते हैं that new update is available for Paytm or Google Pay or Phone Pay or Ola, Uber or Swiggy, Zomato. Why these updates are coming up? Because their competitors are also launching the new features. So that's why they are putting up the upgradation in the backend and they notify the user so that they directly download it and start experiencing from today itself. That's why it is a ongoing iterative process. And that's how product building is all about. Any questions? Feel free to ask.
Yeah, I have a couple of doubts. Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I'm a non-BTech graduate. I have no idea about the programming languages and some of the tools like Power BI.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm working on Tableau. I'm learning Tableau. So, which tools I should learn to meet the requirements of the product management?
We have a dedicated different sessions in the subsequent you can say curriculum. You will get clarity. Just like suppose when the designing will come up, you will came to know about different tool like Figma or Canva. When you are about to you can say design the interface, then we have Zaplin or Palspeak. We will discuss each and everything as the session will flow.
And I have one more general doubt. If I'm working in sales and currently getting 14 lakhs per annum, if I get into APM role, then they may offer 8 to 10 lakhs. No, then they may offer above 14 lakhs or they offer 8 to 10 lakhs.
See, it's basically a diplomatic answer because it depends upon the market situation when you apply. And it also depends upon what kind of tool you are going to work as a product manager. It also depends upon the company performance also. If the market is good, the company is also offering the huge budget, then you can quote 14 lakh. But if your priority is to just change the role, then somehow you have to compensate in your salary.
And I have one more doubt. If I
Yeah.
want to introduce one completely new product, then I have to go with pestle analysis, no?
No
And if
pestle analysis, SWOT analysis you have to start first.
but we don't have any product now, then how can we know our strengths and weakness and opportunities and threats?
See, if there is no existing product in the market, then that doesn't mean that the new product will never come up. Products are still coming, na? Products are still evolving in the market, because in the current market, customers are facing the problem. Just like I already gave you the example earlier. Who has ever think of that Swiggy Zomato come in the market, but somehow it has come up, na?
Yeah.
Why it is coming up? Because customer having one pain point. They don't have time to experience dining experience every day, but they want their delicious meal at their doorstep. That's why they have come up with the smartphone app. Who has ever think of that Google Map will come up in one day? कभी सोचा था गूगल मैप अभी मार्केट में आएगा, बट आया ना, बिकॉज पीपल आर हैविंग मोस्ट यू कैन से कंफ्यूजन अबाउट द रूट्स. They don't know how to select the right path. Though that analysis has come up when you interact with the customer. Analyze what customers are facing the problems right now and how you can improve their experience. Accordingly, you come up with a different product. The best example I told you in the beginning, how Grow Junction has come up with this particular program. Before 2020, nobody was offering product management program anywhere in India. But somehow it has come up now, because there was a gap in the recruiter mindset, as well as that courses which is being offered in the BTech or MBA.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, Saurabh Joshi, Mansi, any questions?
All good.
Tejasvi, Vishal, any questions?
No, Priyank, thank you.
Hi, Priyank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a doubt. So we have covered like some like lot of things today. So we'll be implementing these things after some classes, or will be
We will implement in the capstone project.
Okay. So it will be all together. Will be end-to-end project that will be
everything. Whatever you learned, you will work as a team, do the brainstorming, come up with the idea, and then build the solution, then test the product, and then give the final presentation. Each and everything you will get hands-on experience, provided you are serious and you are willing to learn. Then ultimately you will get the best learning outcome here.
Yeah, because that's when everything will be tested.
Otherwise, it will be theory, na Saurabh?
वही the question was that only कि मतलब करेंगे तभी पता चलेगा.
Yeah. So that was all about for the first class. So next class, I think some other mentor will take up. My next classes with you will be on product road mapping, product prioritization. Later on, I will also take the session on how to crack the PM interviews, as well as how to build the CV. So a couple of courses I will also take, but you have to check the calendar with I think the coordinator. She will be able to guide you on this. But as part of your homework, I think you are aware that you have to share the key takeaways on your social media platform. What did you learn? The 5 things you learned, the 3 things you learned, whatever you have learned, do share your, you can say, learnings, and tag me or Grow Junction as well. That will actually, you can say, become documented also for you, and it will be able to recap each and every point, whatever you discuss. You will get the slide, you will get the recording automatically through the portal. You already get the credentials from the Grow Junction team. So see you in the next class. Have a happy weekend. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Priyank. Wish you the same. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, Priyank, for the session.